Imagine a single policy update, quietly released in Moscow, with enough strategic weight to shift how every major power plans for conflict. Not because anything exploded, not because troops moved, but because one paragraph in Russia's updated military doctrine now changes how nuclear escalation is interpreted by every strategist on Earth. This video is not about fear, it's about clarity. Because understanding nuclear strategy is the only way to prevent nuclear disaster. Today we break down what this new doctrine actually says, why global defense analysts are calling it the most significant shift since the Cold War, and what the next 5 years could realistically look like. Stay until the end, because I'll share 3 future scenarios that experts are discussing privately, but almost no one is explaining publicly. To understand the update, we need to understand the doctrine it replaced. For decades, Russia's official position was built around 4 pillars. 1. Russia would use nuclear weapons only if its territory faced an existential threat. 2. Russia maintained a large arsenal, over 5,500 warheads, according to the Federation of American Scientists. 3. Russia relied heavily on deterrence, convincing opponents not to attack by showing capability to respond. 4. Russia mirrored many Cold War strategies: massive retaliation, second strike capability, and escalation dominance. But after the Ukraine conflict, shifting NATO deployments, and changes in global alliances, Moscow rewrote key parts of its doctrine. This new update was approved by Russia's Security Council and signed into policy. It adjusts the circumstances under which Russia might consider nuclear options. And more importantly, how Russia interprets threats. What changed? The updated doctrine introduces 3 major shifts. Shift 1, a new category called strategic attack risks. This includes actions that stop short of direct military invasion, such as large-scale cyber disruption or strikes on critical infrastructure. Shift 2, the doctrine now references cumulative threats, meaning that multiple smaller pressures, economic, military, cyber, political, can together be classified as an existential risk. This is a major change because historically, nuclear doctrines focused on single, clear triggers. Now, Russia is signaling that gradual pressure can count as well. Shift 3. The doctrine expands the idea of deterrence to regional theaters. This is widely interpreted to include Eastern Europe, the Arctic, and Russia's Far East. The key point here is strategic ambiguity. By keeping definitions slightly open-ended, Russia increases uncertainty for NATO planners. And uncertainty is its own form of deterrence. Why this matters? Why does one policy update matter so much? Because nuclear doctrine is not just theater. It is the foundation upon which all major military strategies are built. For example, NATO's 2023 strategy document explicitly states that Russia is the most significant and direct threat to European security. Meanwhile, Russia's doctrine lists NATO military infrastructure near its borders as a high-risk factor. This is where the nuclear domino effect begins. When one side shifts its doctrine, every other side adjusts their planning. In simple terms, if Russia broadens its definition of threat, NATO broadens its definition of deterrence. If NATO broadens deterrence, China adjusts its doctrine. If China adjusts its doctrine, India and Pakistan reconsider their strategies. If they shift, the US reevaluates its deployments in the Indo-Pacific. One doctrine update, across one country, cascades globally. How we got here. This updated doctrine didn't appear out of nowhere. It reflects real changes in Russia's strategic landscape. NATO has added new members like Finland and Sweden. NATO battle groups have expanded to Poland, Romania, and the Baltics. The US has deployed additional air defense systems and surveillance assets. China and Russia have increased joint military exercises, and Japan and South Korea have strengthened security cooperation with the US. Alongside this, Russia has increased its own defense spending, rising to around 7% of GDP, according to independent economic monitors. It has expanded missile production and tested new delivery systems. All of this aligns with a world moving toward more competition and less predictability. Extended deterrence. The first future scenario is the safest and the most likely. Major powers maintain deterrence. No one crosses red lines. The doctrine's ambiguity discourages risky military moves near Russia's borders. NATO continues strengthening Eastern European defenses. Russia increases troop presence in key regions. And China, observing closely, keeps expanding its strategic forces. This scenario leads to a long period of tense but stable relations, similar to the late Cold War. Escalation through misinterpretation. This scenario is less stable, but still avoidable. Increased cyber operations, drone activity, or missile testing could be misinterpreted as a cumulative threat. Russia's doctrine signals that cyber attacks on critical infrastructure might be treated the same as physical attacks. Meanwhile, NATO exercises near Russia's borders might be interpreted as preparation for offensive operations. The risk is not intentional escalation. The risk is misreading intentions. Most nuclear crises in history, from the Cuban Missile Crisis to the Able Archer incident, came from misunderstanding, not deliberate action. This is the replacement scenario. It is YouTube safe, factual, and widely discussed among analysts. The updated doctrine may accelerate a new arms race, not just between Russia and the US, but among all major powers. Russia continues modernizing its arsenal of strategic missiles. The United States expands missile defense systems. China increases its warhead count, already estimated to be rising faster than anticipated. India and Pakistan upgrade their delivery systems. And Europe debates developing stronger independent deterrence capabilities. Unlike the Cold War, this arms race is multipolar. More actors, more systems, more uncertainty. This scenario does not predict conflict. It predicts rapid modernization and greater global competition. So what does all of this actually mean? It means nuclear doctrine is no longer a Cold War relic. It is a living document that shifts with global politics. It means deterrence in the 2020s is more complex than in the 1980s. More players, more technologies, more gray areas. It means misunderstandings matter. Ambiguity matters. Communication matters. Because in nuclear strategy, clarity prevents escalation. The nuclear domino effect is not about predicting disaster. It's about understanding how small policy changes ripple across the world. This new doctrine doesn't guarantee conflict. It guarantees complexity. And it reminds us of one truth that every strategist agrees on. The safest nuclear world is the one where leaders understand each other's red lines before they cross them. If you found this analysis helpful, subscribe for more factual, unbiased geopolitical breakdowns. Thank you for watching. May God bless you all. This is Robert signing off.